Well, good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome to YMBA. It is January 17th, 2026. Thanks so much for coming to class, and let's start by standing. I'm going to ask if Deborah would show my whole body, particularly down near the feet, but that's a good place to start. And just stand. Just feel your feet. Don't try to do anything with them. Don't try to bounce. Just what do your feet feel like when the first moment when you stand up? Do you have to work at moving them into balance, or do they just plop right into balance? Everybody, we'll all have a different answer. Probably we need to do a little bit. So as you stand there, now I want you to listen to your feet, but just do this with your right foot. I want you to lift the front of your right foot completely up off the floor, including the mounds of the foot, just the right foot. Curl your toes of the right foot. Lightly touch the toes, barely weight bearing into the toes. Flick your toes forward and up. Set the mound down and set the pads down. And compare your 2 feet. Already you should feel a difference. There will be a difference. What is that difference? Everybody will probably be different. Lift the front of the left foot up. This is a powerful kind of enlivening of the arches, kind of balancing the foot in a quick, easy way. Touch the pads of the toes lightly on the left foot, so that you've created here what I call the heel bridge. So visualize from the pad of your big toe all the way along the inner arch to the inner heel. There's that medial arch. Then from the tip of your little toe along the outer edge of your foot, the outer arch, to your outer heel. Then go from your little toe to your big toe mound, and that's your transverse arch. Those are 3 arches that you're enlivening, boom, just like that. Not to say there are other ways important to do as well, but this is quick. And then flick your toes up, expand those arches, all 3 of them, including letting the toes have a little life, and set the pads down. And just let the pads just soften there, the mounds, the heels, and stand about 60% of the weight back on the heels. So that's a quick, I had you hold these things, but you can do this within 10 seconds to do these heel bridge movements. So now lift your right heel up so you're on the mound of the left foot. And lift your left toes up and the left heel up, or mound up on your left foot, and see if you can balance there on 1 foot. You're on 1 foot, half of each. And then let the feet come down to balance, and lift the right front foot and the left heel. And this is a good balance practice, by the way. To be able to do this relaxed without, yikes, I'm going to fall. So this is a really good balance practice, because this is part of walking. When your heel striking on 1 foot, your mound of the foot striking on the other foot. So a nice balance place, especially if you start to close your eyes or circle your eyes or your tongue start to do other things. And then let your feet relax. So that's even a nice warm-up for then walking like a bird. So that you go through the center of the foot, not to say that there isn't subtle arch shiftings. So listen to those 3 arches. The transverse arch, that mound that goes across the foot, the medial arch, ball of the big toe, and the second toe, all the way back to the inner heel, and the third toe actually, and the outer arch that goes from the 4th and the 5th toes. 3 arches, and they're alive and they're fluid, and when they're healthy, they're not static and they're not rigid, so you're just gently walking. And then have a sense of your inner and outer thighs as they gently guide you. So this is a really nice way to start to prepare yourself for a run or a walk. And all of this could have been done in 30 seconds. So what we took a couple minutes to do. And why is it important? Because the tension in your feet and your legs go right to your neck. Go right to your jaw. Go right to your prostate if you're a guy. Go right to the organs. The tension in walking can be so progressively causing mischief in the body in all kinds of ways. And then just stand. And then just let your legs relax. Now sense the pads and the mounds and the heels. And as you balance there, now take your hands by the sides of your ears and reach up. Now as you reach up, lift the front of your right toes up, the mound and everything, and curl those toes. Lightly touch the floor with the tips of those toes, barely, like you're testing the temperature and you're afraid it's going to be really hot. So you barely touch the water with the tips of your toes. Then flick the tips of those right toes up, set the mound down and set the pads down. And again, compare your 2 feet. And then lift the front of the left foot up and curl those toes under lightly. All of this is done lightly. Lightly touch the tips of the toes. And flick the toes up. Yeah, and take your arms down anytime you need to. Take a break. Set the mound down and set the pads down. And again, this is a wonderful place to feel the balancing and the balancing of the foot. And again, all of this could still be done in 30 seconds. And then bring your hands down to T12 and staying balanced in the feet. Trochanters lined up with the outer ankles. And gently bend your knees so that your lower back lengthens. And the sacrum drops right down in the center of your heels. 40% or so of the weight in the mounds of the toes. The pads of the toes right now relaxed. But feel that groundedness right in the center of the heels. Come forward now, only as far as you're comfortable. Let the back feel nice and long. These are nice ways to strengthen the legs, the bones. It's a lot safer on the knees and the hips than cranking out squats back and forth. Not to say that can be bad, but putting your knee bend in different positions here can go a long way in really toning the legs. Now slide your hands down the outside of the legs, come into the inner shin, pressing out and slowly coming up. We're only staying here for a few more minutes, then we're going to come to the floor again. But establish some grounding principles. Now again, bird walk. And really allow those knees to track.